The Essential Education projector range from Hitachi sponsors ICT programs.
Coming up in this programme, we focus on literacy and some of the issues in Every Child Matters. We take a look at a Year 2 masterclass that uses animation software in poetry. And we focus on a group of Key Stage 2 children using digital photography to explore bullying. And there are more top tips.
My top tip is invest in a USB pen drive. It's a great way to transport information from one place to another.
But we start with literacy. There's lots of software on the market that can help with writing poetry, but where do you start? We found one teacher in Harrow who wanted some help.
Well, I have a Year 2 class and we're working on the Great Fire of London in history. I'd really like to link this to the unit of work in literacy about poetry. But the majority of my class are English as a second language children, and they find the vocabulary and poetry writing very challenging. I feel that ICT could really support them, but I really don't know what's out there. So I really need some help.
To help is literacy expert Julie Steer. She'll show Mickey how animation can encourage children to write creatively. There's quite a lot of software to choose from. She's using to animate.
I mean, I've seen reception children use it
Whilst we've been looking at particular products in this programme, there are lots of others on the market that will do the same job. You can find details on the Teachers TV website.
It actually gives children a good understanding of how animation works. You have all the usual tools here. We can have the spray tool, pen tool. So I might start off showing that I know what glow means by putting a little bit of glow down the bottom, and then I can click the text here and I can start to write glow there, so that in a sense they're seeing the words that they're going to use alongside the movement of the animation.
The key words relating to fire can be illustrated on each frame. The animation can then be built up by copying and pasting frames along the timeline. The completed animations can then be used on the interactive whiteboard and incorporated into other software packages or web pages.
That's really good. They'll be really excited about that and want to write.
Yes, and I think it makes the link between the writing, which you said was difficult. They had the words in their actual vocabulary, but they weren't using them in writing. But if this is in a sense illustrating their writing, the words are there. It's almost like a word bank for them. But it's got that visual, you know, what exactly is the difference between those words.
How do you envisage, I use it in the lesson, we've got the computer suite and the interactive whiteboards. We've also got a bank of about 5 or 6 laptops.
I really like to see the use of the laptops in the lesson. It integrates the IT right the way through the unit of work. As the different children have a go on the work on the laptops, it kind of reinforces what they're doing. It's really good to have a paper-based task as well, because obviously with only 5 or 6 laptops, not all the children can use laptops at once, and it helps to engage all the children in the work, and they'll all have a chance to do their work on laptops later on.
I think that the children have got a certain competence. It'll obviously be challenging for some of them, which is what I want, but I think it's going to be an exciting thing to do.
With Julie watching, Mickey begins her lesson by showing the class how to use the software on the interactive whiteboard.
And I'm going to make some wiggly lines, wiggly line and twisting and turning and swirling, a bit like you did your finger painting.
It's really good to demonstrate on a whiteboard like this so the whole class can see what to do, and I like the way she's got the children involved in doing that.
She divides the class in half. One group write poems on the laptops and the other carry out a paper-based exercise using printouts from the animations Mickey has made.
Hey, you can use that thing. I'm controlling it.
It's really good to see how engaged they all are. These boys here, they're having a really animated conversation about what they're doing.
Hey, blazing. Just pack the flame you have to do blazing. Last time we both done blazing.
I think this is one of the great things about IT particularly, and also an animation. It's very good for engaging all pupils. I mean, boys might not be particularly engaged with poetry, but the way she's set it up with all the visual and kinesthetic and drama and the use of IT means that they're really engaged with it and doing some very quality work around some of the words and things that she's doing.
Booming could still be up there.
Are you going to have sizzling or flickering? What do you think?
The decision to run a paper-based activity is a good one, especially when a laptop breaks down.
Oh dear, what's happened to your computer? Oh dear, never mind. I'll tell you what.
She's got a backup plan. I mean, that's one of the good things about having a paper-based task in the lesson.
Right? Can you write some of the words down here that you might use?
The fact that the laptop broke down hasn't been a major catastrophe. She's managed that really well.
Now, you've done your first animation, right? Now you need to go on to the next odd number. So you need to drag from frame 1 to frame 3.
Done.
Okay.
Now do the other half of the red.
The animation has worked. It's clear from the lesson that the children have been able to create simple poems. They'll form the basis of longer pieces of writing. Mickey ends the lesson by encouraging the children to perform their completed poems alongside the finished animations.
Sting, flaming, crackling, turning, crashing, bashing, booming.
I think all the children did very well, including the children with English and additional language. They obviously seem to have understood the vocabulary and used it really well in the work they've done.
The children are really confident with using it. They picked it up really quickly, and I think they will come out with some other ideas of how we can use it.
To animate really helped them to show that they knew what spark meant, they knew what flicker meant, they knew what glow meant. Whether they wrote the words or not, their animations showed that.
I could see lots and lots of uses for it in the future.
If you want to find out more about the range of animation software available, then visit the Teachers TV website.
When pupils are using the internet to find information, always try and select some websites first. It's amazing how much time pupils can waste searching the internet and not find the information you'd like them to.
My top tip is always try the equipment before the lesson starts. Otherwise, you might find yourself being caught out.
An important tip for teachers using ICT is to share. Share with your colleagues in your school, share with other schools good practice, go and see lessons, find out about good websites and good ICT software to use.
Finally today, Every Child Matters. It's on every school's agenda. But how can ICT help move it forward? Well, here's an inspirational example from a group of 5 primary schools in Somerset.
Okay, and we'll do that again.
2 of the 5 outcomes are making a positive contribution and enjoying and achieving.
Get rid of all of those. And then
These are what this session is hoping to tackle.
That's fantastic. You can bring in the ones that you want then. Okay. Today is mixing ICT with creative writing, but also thinking about social and emotional aspects of learning. So by the end of the session, what I'm hoping is they'll have made a photo story, whereby they will have thought of their own creative writing to go in there, they'll have taken their own photographs digitally, and they will have put some movement to those photographs. All goes together at the end to make themselves a film. It will take them to somewhere else that they can't be taken to with a book.
Starting the session with a "here's one I made earlier" helps in 2 ways. It acts as an icebreaker for the children from the different schools, and it provides a model for how they might create their own story.
Look what I can do. If I click on here, I can move it to the top. Okay, can you all see the screen? Now I've given you the skills to make a photo story.
The next step is to brainstorm the sort of issues that might be part of the stories.
So, 4 or 5 minutes, which issue do you want to take and why? I want to hear discussion and agreement at the end of it, okay? Go.
I'd say
being on
maybe
the outside of the game.
what would give that idea was if someone was sitting, holding their lunch, and then someone comes along and reaches out to take a picture of that position, and then actually lifting it up, take another picture.
I think the idea of being isolated is a very powerful film. You could take that back to your school and say, look what we've done.
With the themes decided and armed with digital cameras, it's time to get out on location in the playground and act out the scenes.
OK, you've got your props, you've got your digital cameras. This is the space for your outdoor shots, OK? So talk as groups as to where you want them. Make sure you're directing each other.
You know, like you turn around and you see them, and then they can kind of push you or something, or shout at you. So like we could have one photo of them just like that. You can always zoom out. Yeah, I can see.
OK, show the gang what you think.
That's actually the perfect word, Dan. Yeah, that's quite good.
Then it's back inside to finish the shoot. It's these images that will form the narrative structure of the story.
Well done, that's a good photo. OK, you've got agreement. Fantastic. Right, we're finished. Let's go back in and download them.
The next stage is editing. The children use the ICT suite to download their photographs and start bringing their ideas together.
Your creative writing should be done on here in Texties. So when it comes to photo story, you're just putting it together. Does that make sense to everybody? Be creative. Let's go.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay,
The group uses a simple word processing software to create their storyboards.
Right, so double click it. Click on one, it'll put a box around it, just like this. Excellent, well done.
On Texties, you can have this put on pictures that are not moving, because on Photo Story you can make them moving and zoom in and out and put backgrounds in it and everything.
And then it's the final piece of the jigsaw. Using the software to assemble their final multimedia pieces, a montage of images, movement, backgrounds and music.
It's just, you haven't done lots of writing to go with it, but what you've done is powerful, and that's what we're trying to look for. OK, can everybody stop? Fantastic, well done. Jemima, let's have a look. Wow. Brilliant zoom out. Fantastic. Unfortunately, guys, we've come to the end of our session. Enjoyed yourselves? Yeah. Brilliant.
Lots of schools focus on bullying in their work on Every Child Matters. So what does Steve think are the advantages of using ICT?
All this is not something you could do with a pen and paper. You could take the photographs, you could find some photographs from somewhere, you could put the writing with the photographs, but the music to accompany it all comes together and makes something very special and also very powerful. Hopefully they will realise how powerful it can be, and that's not something you can find with pen and paper.
Well, that's about it for this programme, but before we go, here's a literacy top tip from me. I always set the computer screensaver in my classroom to show the homepage of an author's website. Helps encourage children to get reading. Don't forget you can find information about this programme or any of the others in the series by visiting the Teachers TV website. Bye for now.
Essential education projectors from Hitachi sponsor ICT programs.